Hey guys, this is Dan Strong with Excel VBA is Fun. I'm here with an email from Chad, and he said, hey, I've got this formula, it works okay, but it takes several hours. Yeah, it says several hours right here to calculate these formulas. He's got this advanced array formula going on to try to figure out how many of he's got possibly 750,000 records in a monthly workbook that he receives. And what he wants to do is for it not to take several hours, obviously, to calculate what he wants to do. So just zooming over immediately to Chad's workbook, he's giving me a dumbed down example here where he only is revealing the customer ID, which it looks like it has been sorted 103 first, and then 111, and then 112. So that's nice. And then the sales month, he actually extracts that from the dates. So this would be January. There's several Januaries, several Februaries for customer 103, and a few Marches, Aprils, etc. What he wants to know is, okay, let's see, for customer 103, here's how you would normally go through it. He wants to know how many different months are on this report for that customer. So for customer 103, we see we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hasn't skipped a month yet, 6, and that's where we hit the end. So there's 6 different months that are unique. Customer 111, we only have 1. It's another bad example because it sounds like I'm just saying whatever this number is. Let's go to 112. Okay, 112, customer 112 is a great example. He would want the answer to be, let's see, 112 has this one and this one and this one. So that's 1, 2, 3 different, yeah. So customer 112 would have this, this, and this. So I count 3 different instances that 112, maybe 4 if this 6, yeah. So 4 different months for customer 112. So in that column, wherever the answer would be, he would want it to just say 4. 4 is the answer of how many different months we obtained a sale from that customer. That's all he wants to know. But he has this really long, so I'm going to copy and paste this before we get started. Of course, when it's an array formula, let's just go ahead and paste that. Now, what's in an array formula, you can't just paste these brackets. You have to do a, let's see here, you have to do a Control Shift Enter, and I'm trying to see if this is pointing to the right areas. I don't know why these aren't lit up. Well, whatever. When I tried it the other day, I hit Control Shift Enter, and sure enough, it took forever just to do one cell. I can't imagine. He must have a very powerful computer for it to only take several hours, because it took several minutes just to do one cell. So anyway, we're going to show him, we're going to try it a different way. And then we'll see if we can maybe generate a report in the other sheet, which will allow us to learn a little bit about writing reports, and then I'm going to delve into that more in my advanced report writing course on Udemy. And so that is not available yet, but maybe at the time that you're viewing this video on YouTube, it will be available. So I'm going to go ahead and put a button on there if it is available, and you can click on it right now and check that out. So anyway, let's get started. Hit Alt F11, of course, to begin. So we only have one worksheet. We'll make a second worksheet right now by clicking this Insert Worksheet right there. Okay, so we're going to hit Alt F11. And let's go ahead and probably insert a module to hold our new sub. So we're going to call this Run Month Report. That'll work. Hit enter and it creates a new procedure for you. So first things we're going to do is we're going to declare our worksheets. So we'll just say worksheet 1 as worksheet, and comma, we're also going to do our report sheet as another worksheet, and we'll set ws1 to be equal to this workbook dot sheets, and that was sheet 1 because we don't have a fancy name right now. And we might as well go ahead and give sheet 2 the right name. We'll just call it report We'll call it month report. Month underscore RPT. And we'll just Alt F11, we'll copy and paste that. We'll set RPT, that's our report, equal to this workbook, sheets, month report, in quote in parentheses. So now we're ready to rock, right? All we need is really 2 columns, so I'm not going to declare a bunch of variables for these column numbers. That would be a waste of time at this point. So what we're going to do is, well, we could do it for our WS1 sheet, since there are a few here, but we do know it's column A, which is 1. And we know it's column N, which is 15. J is 10. I remember 11, 12, 13, 14. So this will be column 14. This will be column 1. That's easy enough to remember. So what we're going to do is, let's minimize this a little bit so we can see. We're going to go through, let's get our last row for worksheet 1. So WS last row equals WS1.cells using the rows.count. If you don't know how to use this, check out my video on getting the last row, of course. We're going to use XL up, and we're going to get the row. Okay, so we're all set to get the last row, and once we get the last row, which just happens to be a row 110,000, so that would be our last row is 110,000. So that's a doozy. So for x equals 2 all the way to WSLR, which happens to be 110,000 in this instance, next x, hit up arrow, hit tab. So here is our area that we're going to loop within this for next area. So our loop starts here, and we're going to say, okay, of course we're starting on row 2. We don't want the customer ID right there, but we're going to establish a pattern here. Which customer ID are we on, and are we ready to move on to the next one? So let's go to month report here, and let's say customer ID, and then this is going to be number of months, and that's the basis of our report. But we are going to start on row 2 for that as well. We can use the variable maybe y or something simple. Just y, we'll just know that y means it's on this worksheet, and then every time we get one and we're done, y equals y plus 1. So now we'd be ready for the next row. So we need to go to the first sheet and establish a pattern. There's many ways to do that. Just off the cuff here, we could just say if first time equals true, then no, not equals true. If first time, how about if this variable is empty, which it is always at the beginning, if that's empty, then it's the first one, and end if. Let's just roll with that. We could do it that way. So let's go ahead and start debugging through a little bit. F8, F8, F8. Uh-oh, type mismatch. So what have we done wrong here? Month underscore RPT. It's always something, isn't it? Type mismatch. Well, heck with it. Let's do RPT1 and see if it likes that better. Okay, I guess RPT was something built in. Well, that's annoying. But sometimes you just gotta change things until it works for you. So, oh, fiddle-dee-dee, that's what it was. This should be as worksheet, not as workbook. No wonder it got mad at me. Yes, it's okay to reset. So now we can go use RPT because we want it to be a worksheet. Okay, no wonder it got confused. Okay, so WSLR is 110,000, so that worked just wonderfully. X is going to be 2 all the way to 110,000 in this case. And for the first x, let's see, if first time equals empty, which lo and behold, the variable called first time is empty because we haven't done anything with it, then, so we'll say our first one is 103, which is located on the row X and column 1. We'll say my variable equals ws1.cells using x comma 1. My variable is going to be equal to 103. And then is there anything else we need to do with that? Very possibly. Let's see. We probably should immediately see if the row following that is going to be a different number than what this one is, than what my var is, because if it's immediately different, then we can just say that like if 103 immediately went to 104, then we know that this variable, this customer ID 103 only had one sales month. Whether this was month 12 for December or not, if it only had one instance and then one after that is immediately 104 or something different, well, we know that that one can immediately be posted to the other workbook. So if ws1.cells x comma 1, actually x plus 1, that's the next row on the same column, is not the same as ws1.cells using x, or you could say my var, either way. Then, if they are different on the next row, then get totals. So very simply, and we need to establish that y equals 2 at the beginning, that's the starting row, for reports. So let's see here. And if, so in F8, my var is 103. If the row after that is not equal to 103, then we would get the totals, and we may go back to that in a moment, but actually let's just have some fun. No. Okay, yeah, so if that was different, let's just pretend that it was. We would immediately know that if we were on the first time line and it was immediately different, we would get the totals and it would be 1. So we would say rpt.cells. So now we're writing onto the report sheet using whatever y is. It just happens to be 2 right now. And that's the starting row. And that's column 1. The customer ID is going to be my var, and the report using same row but column 2, which is the number that we want, is immediately going to be 1. Only one record, so only 1 month of sales. So that part would be easy, but we're not getting off that easy. So the sales month, we might need to record that as well. My month equals ws1.cells x comma 14 is where the sales month is. So we're going to capture that into the thing called my month, and that's going to say month 1 for this record here. Okay, and if that were the case, we would start over on the next one. Let's see here. We would say my var is empty and my month is empty. Okay. And we would probably skip to the next X next X. Use a colon there, or and we could just say go to next X. That's the thing that we created. Notice it's not next space X like this command is. It's just a location that we can jump to. So we just give it a similar friendly name and put a colon right there. So go to next X, and of course it would jump over any code in the way. So alright, because the next row is not immediately something different, we're going to analyze these until my month is different, or until my var is this is different than my var. So let's see, do we do anything with that information? We may want to compare the months as well. Let's see here. Well, at any rate, we need to put a counter in place that we can reset. So even if we're doing it with a new customer ID, which we've done with first time, every time that first time is empty again, that means that we're going to a new customer ID. So each time, regardless, we're going to say count my count equals my count plus 1. So if we hit that, it will go from empty to being 1, and every time we use that code, it will increment 1 until it is reset by us. And so now we've got at least 1, and we can go to next X. So we got the first one out of the way, so it goes to the next X. So now, first time, let's see here. First time equals blah, whatever, as long as we put something in there. That's what should have happened a moment ago. So now that first time, we'll just pretend that that happened a moment ago. So now it says if first time is empty, and we see the first time is not empty anymore. So skip to here, and now we write our second portion when we have not just encountered a new customer, but once we're still on a roll, we're still on customer 103. So in that case, we're going to let's see what to do first. We need to make sure that the sales month is not the same as last month. So my month, if my month is not, or if the current row is not equal to my month, then we're going to say my count equals my count plus 1, because now we've got a different month. We need to add to our little counter that we've been accruing. Otherwise, if the customer ID was the same as my var, then that would just go to the next X and ignore it, because it would be the same month as a moment ago. So we need to say if ws1, see now we're on row 3, X has been incremented by next X. So if ws1.cells using X and of course 1 again, if that cell is equal to, if the customer is the same is the first thing we need to analyze. So if that's the same as my var, then we're going to do one thing, and if the customer is the same, then we can continue, otherwise we need to take a different course and summarize. So the else would be summarize and clear variables. Just a side note for me. But if it is the same, then we need to analyze if the month is the same. If it isn't, you heard me earlier, we'll increase or not increase accordingly. So let's see here, just to take a peek. So 103 is equal to my var 103. So it is the same customer. We don't have to do the summary for this customer 103 just yet. So we're going to say yes, they are the same. Analyze the month. okay, if ws1 dot cells using x comma number 14, if that's equal to my month, which is what we had last time, the last current month, if that's the same, then I would say we need to skip because everything's the same. So I would just say go to next x. But if it's not the same month, but we do know that we've established it's the same customer, but now it's a new month, this is the else part. It's a new month, so we would say my count equals my count plus 1, and of course do an end diff. Okay, so that's basically that part. So let's see here. If the month is equal to the last time, fine and dandy. Otherwise, if it's a new month, then my month, first of all, would need to be updated to the current new month, which is ws1.cells x comma 14. That would give us the new month. For next time we need to use this variable, I would update that to maybe 2 or something, whatever month the new one is, and it would still increment our counter 1 more. So let's take a look at that. So if this is this, go to next x. So let's see here. If ws1.cells 103 is the same, 1 is equal to 1. So this may be boring for just a few moments. Let's see, when does it become 2 on line 20? So when x is equal to 20, well, x is 9 right now. 16, 17, 18, 19, next x, and here we are. So the customer is still 103, so that's fine. We know that's going to go down here. But now, number 2 is not equal to my month, which is equal to number 1. So now it's going to go to the else. It's going to say it's a new month. So we update. My month is now going to be equal to 2. You see there. So my month is now 2. And my counter is whatever my counter is currently plus 1. So it would be 1 plus 1, of course. My counter will now be 2. There shall be, we have 2 different distinct months for our report so far for customer 103, and we're well on our way for a really, really good, easy report. Alright, stay with me. It's getting good. So let's continue this until we get to this else right here, meaning that else should appear when we have a new customer, customer 111. So let's go ahead and see if it comes up with my count equals 6 in a moment. Let's hit F5 until we get to this else. F5, okay. My count is equal to 6, so jolly good. So that means that it's counted correctly. Let's go to the summary page. So remember, RPT is our summary page, rpt.cells, and remember y is going to be our current row, which is, it starts out as being 2, and then we'll increment manually. Instead of saying next y, we'll just say y equals y plus 1 whenever we're ready to go to the next row for the report page. So row y, column 1 equals the customer name, which is my var, and rpt.cells y comma 14 is equal to my count. And that will give the count of that customer's number there. So let's hit that. Did I skip too much here? Let's see else. Here we are. Yes. Now, the reason it's giving an application defined or an object not defined type of an error is because I have not defined y yet. I just shoved it up there manually. So what I will do to cheat is either I can lift this arrow wherever I want it, or I can hit Control G for the immediate window and cheat this one time, so I won't have to backtrack it. I can say y equals y, y equals 2 and hit enter, and now it is loaded into the system memory temporarily for this time. So that I think will do just fine. Y is now row 2. So what we're going to say here over on monthly report, just so we can take a peek as it's happening. This will be 103 in column 1, which is A. And actually, I apologize, this is not column 14, it's column 2 on this report, because this is a report sheet. So we have my var, and hit F8. Actually, you know what, I'm going to save this workbook before something terrible happens. The following features cannot be saved in macro-free workbooks. So let's save it. I'm going to say not as a macro-free workbook because I want it to be a VBA workbook. So let's do a macro-enabled, or even better, an XLSB, which is much faster, a binary workbook. Sample data 1.xlsb, and now we're good to go. I just didn't want to lose any progress. Let's hit F8, and we'll watch right here. I don't have to click there, but just watch right there. So I'll hit F8, and that's a customer 103, and the count is 6. All right. Now we're going to clear some variables, as we said right here. Let's go in the order that we started. So first time equals empty. First time shall equal empty. That way it'll start at new customer. Furthermore, we're going to say my var equals empty, my month equals empty. Okay, anything else that we need to clear out? Let's take a look here. My count needs to become empty, so we need to start the counter over. Okay, so my count equals empty. I believe those are all our variables for right now. So let's backtrack to right about char. First time equals empty. My var is empty. This is empty. My count is empty. That shall do just fine. And so now, naturally, it goes to the next x. Excuse me, one more thing. I would like to say y equals y plus 1. Okay, so let's go to the immediate window, Control G. Y equals y plus 1 because I missed it a moment ago. Alright. Okay, very good. So now we're at row 83 over here. Well, that's interesting. How many times have we incremented x? Maybe. Well, there's two things that I could do if this next x is going to throw us off because we didn't need to necessarily go forward one. I would say it should be at 82. I would say when we get a successful one of these and it poops over on the report, I would say x equals x minus 1, or would it be 2? I think that's appropriate actually. Control G, x equals x minus 1, just to keep our next x thing on track, and that should work each time. So now we are on 82, which is what I think we should be on now. That seems just fine. So now, if first time is empty, in fact it is, so we'll plug that in there. We'll give it customer number 111, and the month is currently month number 1. If that is different than the next one, no, there's two instances of customer 111, so we're okay there. But we are going to give the counter right there. You always get one for your first time around. The next one, we go straight to here. Is customer 11 different than what it was, the last row that it was? No, it's equal to. So if ws1.cells equals my month, why it's the same month. So we're gonna go to the next thing here, and let's see. Looks like we might need to do another one of these right here. Because I think we're already on the next one. 84. Yeah, so we skipped 111. So we have to make an exception for that. So let's go ahead and take care of that. What happened there was we didn't have anything to make sure that the next row after that is different or not. So let's see here. We may need to rethink the way we did this first one here. I'm not sure if we need this. So I'm going to comment that part out for now, just to see. Let's see here. So the only thing I want to accomplish whenever it's a new customer is that we immediately capture the month and customer number here. And let's just start this over. Let's see. Okay, so the first time this is empty. On the first customer number and the first month is captured. Then we continue on. Let's see what happens this way. Well, the month is, of course, the same. It is the first one. And the month is going to be the same as what it is, but that's okay to go ahead and skip. Now the next one, we've already established what the customer is. So, but did we increment anything? Okay, so I'm going to uncomment that part out. Start over. So, yeah, we have the month, and we have at least one count here. So the first month always gets counted, at least. And then we have, let's see, no, go to the next one. So let's see, the customer's the same, the month is the same, so skip. Nice. I imagine we'll be skipping for some time. But let's put this plug in here to see what happens if we ever get an else. So we have an else here, and that is a new month, and the count is now 2 different distinct months, and that's fine. Same deal here, 3, 4, 5, and now finally 6, and if, and what's this here? Comment that out for a moment. So what have we got here? If this is not, now let's see, what row are we on? 66. What do we get going on? It is now row 82, which means it is 111. case, we should have already summarized the last time. So that's why I was thinking we would probably need to rethink that part. I want to go ahead and hit it up before we get to that point. So yeah, probably right at the end. Let me uncomment this a little bit here. Let's just say that that's probably where the summary is going to go, is right here. If the next row, the current row plus 1 is not whatever, I guess myvar, we could say, whatever myvar is, then we need to do a bit of a summary here. So this is going to be my count. Yes, that seems right. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's say y equals, or x equals x minus 1. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back in time. Okay, we just got the new x. We're here. We're on row, what's x? 81. So we're right here, and we're going, hey, the next one is going to be a different customer. So let's go ahead and summarize this one and get ready for the next one. That's what we're doing now. So if this is this and blah blah blah, then that's why. Because if the month is the same, it goes to the next X. So maybe this is where we do our summaries. Different ways to skin that cat, guys. Same customer, same month, and then we do need to compare it that way in order to get our counter. But before we go to next X, we might want to implement this code right here. So I Control C to copy that, and I'm just gonna compare. Let's tab to get those indentations correctly. We're gonna go right here. Yeah, the month is the same, but what about next row? That's gonna be different. Let's go ahead and get our summary and get that out of the way. And of course we are going to need y equals y plus 1. And we probably need to clear out a couple of variables, but that's alright. So it's going to be 103 as the current customer, and the count's going to be 6 over on the other sheet. And now we're going to go to row 3 over there, my var, my month. In fact, all these are going to be cleared out, so let's just copy and paste that. Okay, so first time is now empty, my var, my month, my count, all that's empty. And let's see, we need to go to the next X, which would be 82, which actually would be correct, so we don't even need to do X equals X minus 1. We just go along with it. So now let's see, we've got a new one. This is going to be 111, and we're going to give that 1 counterpoint, and let's see if that is the same, and it sure is. Let's see if the next one, then we would automatically total it, but it isn't, so we'll go to the next X. Okay, 111 ends right here though, so they are only going to have 1 counter. So let's see, 111 is the same, month is the same, so we don't increment anything, but the next row is going to be different, so let's get our totals right now. So row 3 on column 1 and 2 are going to be customer 111, and the counter is only 1. And then we're going to increment, see over on the report sheet, this is what it looks like, 11 and 1 months. Okay, then we're going to clear out the variables again, and now we're moving on to the next big thing. So we've got customer 112, and the month is going to be whatever the heck that is, and the count is starting at 1. This will skip on. Let's see here. Okay, so Still the same customer, same month. And the next one is not a new customer. Wouldn't be surprised if that's all we need for this code. But I want to see what happens if we get to this else thing here. So we might need to account for that as well. Let's go ahead and erase this code here so it takes up less room. And let's see, the month is the same. And the next customer is the same. Let's see, this is boring. When are we gonna, okay. This is row 88 is when we're gonna get to the next one on row 88. So let's see. X is on 86, so boring. Boring, and now we're on 88. Okay, so it's gonna get interesting now. Let's see. Well, the customer is that, and the month is 4. So here's the else. My month is now month 4, and the count is now 2 because we have a month 1 and a month 4. So that was fun. And finally, if the customer is different, we are going to clear out some stuff anyways. So I think actually all this stuff in the summary would be, let's see, I think this is what we settled on. So let's take all these entries here and copy paste right there so that we are sure to get everything. Shift tab, okay. So no, still the same customer, but not for long, I don't think. Let's see, 112. Oh, it's got a few more. Let's see, it goes to 101. So let's zoom to X is 101. 93, getting there. 96. 100. Okay, here we go. It's getting good. The next one is still going to be the same customer. Okay, the month is different now. So else. So now the count is 3. How many more of these do we have for 112? A few more. Let's just run a stopper somewhere wherever we want. Let's run a stopper whenever it gets to this else right here. Looks like we've already got one. Let's hit F5. So new month is month 6. And how many more does this have? Let's see. We're on 113. So we got about 4 more, and then it's going to hit a new customer. $116. Yeah, here we go. 116. Okay. No new months or anything, but it looks like the next customer is going to be on the next row. So we're going ahead and plugging in 112 and the count of 4 different unique months, and we're going to increment that to now to row 5 of our report. And yada yada. So I think that's going to keep on going. I'm going to hit F5 a few times and just double check this thing's work. And let's take a look at what we've got so far. Let's look at one of these at random. Let's look at number 135, okay? And then we may be able to call this a day, I don't know. 135 has 3 different customers. Let's see if that's accurate. 135, or not 3 different customers, but 3 different unique months. 4, 5, and 6, and then it starts over. 144, let's go ahead and get that one out of the way. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 for number 144, and that's what we have here. So I'm thinking this is gonna be all we need. Let me take this stop marker off and see if we ever run into this one at all. And just so this doesn't run forever, let's say if X equals, I don't know, row 1000, then stop. Just so we don't have to, let's go ahead and save the workbook, and let's hit F5. Well, that's interesting. It seems to have already run the entire code for everything. For each customer. Yeah. Oh my god. Wow. So instantly it just ran your report that takes hours and hours and hours. Let's double check one of these random ones here. 24814 has 6 different ones. Control F. 24814. That's 814. 24814. Okay. Has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What did we say? 24814 has 6. How about 24806 has 3. 24806. 24806. 1, 2, 3. Ha! It works. Okay, well, that's I know that seemed like a lot of nonsense, but I tell you what. In our course on advanced report writing, we'll go into some even deeper things, and I promise I'll brush up on my explanation technique. It's been a while since I've done some of these, but I've done some doozies that were a billion times more complicated than this. And what we're going to do in that course, whenever we get that out there, is we'll do things like this, but we'll also have automatic, show you how to run queries using VBA, and where you can compile all the data that you want for whichever report that you're running, how to add option buttons to, you know, pick and choose different things, how to sort this, how to sort that, subtotals, different counts and sums and subtotals and countifs and all kinds of wonderful little things, how to do grand totals by division or different subtypes, and how to just make it look different, how to automatically add lines and formatting for different things, make certain things bold, italic, and I'll show you a lot of really cool examples, and I'll go back into the archives of some of the really awesome reports that I've already written, so I can grab some ideas for you and really write a really great course. So I'm really excited to present that to you. A lot of people have asked, you know, how do we get reports that automatically print out, or, you know, present a print preview, or, you know, look really good on paper and not just some kind of dashboard thing. Everything's dashboard this, dashboard that, but sometimes you just want to print the records, or you want to print a summary report, and I'm going to show you a gazillion and one different ways to do that in my course. This is kind of a plug for that, even though I haven't even written that course yet, but that's what I'm going to start planning right now. So, Advanced Report Writing in Excel VBA, that will be available on my Udemy site. So, I'll put some links out for that. You can be sure I'll let you know about that. Don't forget to get my free ebook. That'll be available in the video description, but that has a lot of cool tips as well. How to fill out combo boxes, list boxes, do a bunch of really neat things in VBA. And just for fun, I want to see how long this takes. So let me Control Shift down. 7,900 rows put into this report. And of course, we'll automatically clear the last report whenever we teach you how to do that in my other course. So let's, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Take out all the little stoppers here. And I'm going to, this is called the Run Month Report. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a nice little button here. I'll use a shape, one of these rounded things here. I'll just put it right here, and I'm going to say Run Report. Run Monthly Sales Report. And let's go here. We're going to center it here, here. And we're going to make that Control A to select all the text, bold. And we'll, whoops, too many. Run monthly sales report. Right click on that. We're going to assign a macro. The only macro on this workbook is the run month report. Hit OK. That way, whenever you highlight over this, it's a clickable thing. So this is going to be awesome. So this is nothing. There's nothing on this page here. And now let's save the workbook before it explodes or something, computer crashes or something. But anyway, we're going to click run monthly sales report rather, and let's see how long it takes. And if it takes too long, I'll show you some tips to speed it up. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, and we're done. Wow, that's a lot less than several hours, I'd say. Now, the kicker. Well, no, I'm going to save that for another lesson. But we could make it to where as soon as you release your mouse button, the report is already run. I'm serious, it would be done already. So anyway, that beats the socks off of a very long formula. So I thank you all for tuning in to this lesson on how to automate some of those really long, laborious functions using array formulas that take forever on a huge workbook like this. And again, I just want to thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry if I sound a little tired. It's 1:15 in the morning and I really ought to head to bed, but I sure appreciate you all watching, and God bless you.
Are you looking for a way to easily improve productivity in your workplace? Are you tired of the drudgery that comes with manual data entry day in and day out? Hi, I'm Daniel Strong with Excel VBA is Fun, and I've got your solution, barcoding. With my new course on barcoding in Excel VBA, you'll learn just how easy it is to design your own programs, to automate data entry and keep track of items entered, and so much more. I'll show you how to generate your own barcode sheets in Excel and how to use them in a variety of exercises in the program. Whether you're an absolute beginner to an advanced Excel user, I will take you through each step in detail so anybody can learn this. I'll show you how the included Excel workbooks function. I'll teach you about creating the best labels and the best label sheets that you can buy. We'll build 2 different versions of barcode-friendly user form projects and add features in each lesson. Then we're going to add labels, total up our inventory on the fly. We'll learn how to process items in your worksheet database, from simple lookups to advanced cell marking and dating techniques. We'll also review extensively how to get the best scan in multiple scenario types. With over 2 hours of content and lifetime access to the course materials, this is a must-have for your learning collection. Don't live another day with manual data entry. With this course, you'll drastically reduce data entry errors, improve efficiency, and learn a totally essential and fun art form. Barcoding in Excel VBA. Order today.